Are you the parent of a child who's been diagnosed with a disability? Or you've been told there might be a difficulty or delay in your child's development? Do you feel isolated? Are you hurt? Do you think there's no hope? Well, today I'm going to share strategies on how you can support your child and support yourself also. Welcome to Inspiring Women TV. About how you started from being a volunteer and now you're a Lord.
Yeah, I started volunteering. I volunteered in a housing co-op actually in Newham, and it taught me an awful lot. And I would recommend volunteering for everybody. Really, it's a good way in. It's a good way of understanding what really happens in your community and in the world.
How's Johnny been from being an air hostess to a not so secret millionaire?
I know. I think the secret millionaire story is almost, I won't say an aside, but I think it was just to try and bring out an understanding to people to say what your dreams are like. You know, we can create our world of possibilities. We have the remarkable ability within us. And so it's
a different type of product, a more community-based product, where you can interact with Jamaicans in the communities, experience the local cuisine within the communities, and speak with folks and have a truly cultural experience.
Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We're doing a series on supporting parents who have children with disabilities. And the aim is to share information on what you can do, practical steps on how you can support your child's speech and language development, or your child's development. This might not be important for you if you're the parent of a teenager, but it might be. But the focus mainly is on parents who have children with disabilities or who have children who have suffered from a speech and language delay or disorder. But these strategies would help all parents universally. You might pick up one or two things. So get your pen, pad, iPad ready, and let's go. I have heard a lot of parents who have recently received diagnosis of autism, or they've been told by a doctor or professional that their child might be developmentally delayed in an area or two. And these parents have said, oh no, it's not possible. And they go through a myriad of emotions: disbelief, denial, anger, doubt, fear. And I understand that it is difficult. It's a difficult time. But the most common emotion that they go through is denial. No, it can't happen to me. The professionals are wrong. The doctor doesn't know what he's talking about. It happens on the other side of town, not on my own lane. But it's important to get all the information you can get on how you can support your child, because ultimately, your child is who matters. Don't spend too much time being in denial. You can have faith, but even the Bible says faith without works is dead. So today I'm here to share strategies on how you can support your child if there's a developmental delay or there's a speech and language difficulty, or it might be autism. And sometimes, because the child develops very well physically, these delays are not visible or obvious. They might walk like the normal child, they might eat like the normal child, but the truth is, there's no normal child. I mean, who determines who is normal and who is not? There is no normal child. Each child is unique and special. So you need to celebrate the uniqueness of your child. So now to practical steps on how you can support your child's speech and language development. Each child, like I said earlier, is unique and develops at a certain age. So there are ages and stages where you'd expect a child to say a certain number of words, and it's important that you as a parent support your child. But in order to be able to support your child, you need to support yourself. Be strong, be courageous, be brave. Have a plan of action. If you've identified a need, that's the first step to the solution. Identify that there's a need and have a plan of action. Get a team around you. Get a team of professionals, experts, parents, a support network. It might be in your church, it might be your local community. It might be the neighbor on the other side of the road. You don't know who it might be, but make sure you have a support network, internally and externally. Don't think that there is no solution to any problem in this world. Don't think it's insurmountable. Don't waste time in denial. Have faith, but faith without works is dead. Have faith, but put in the work. If you believe that your child will be healed, then put in the work. And I'm here to even join my faith with you, but you have to put in the work. Support your child. Little things like sitting on the floor with your child, maintaining eye contact. Sometimes a child who's unable to maintain eye contact may be a giveaway. It might not even be, but so you need to support your child in maintaining eye contact. Sit down at the same level. Do not talk above your child's level. Do not stand and talk down at your child. You might need to come down, bend down, sit down, and look at your child eye to eye. Maintain eye contact. Make sure your child faces you. When I say get down your child's level, literally and figuratively. Sometimes as adults, we can talk above our child's level. And we engage in communication with other adults, but we don't give our child that same time one-to-one. It's not easy, especially if you have to work, if you have a business to run, you have other social commitments. This might be the time to cut down on social commitments. But if you have to travel and you have to travel with your child on an airplane, then you need to make certain arrangements. You might need to call the airline and find out if they can make certain arrangements. It might be where you sit, your location. You don't want to be that passenger who is making all the noise and other passengers who have paid so much to be on that flight have an uncomfortable flight. But also, you don't want to be judged by other people. So if it means flying at night when your child will sleep, then by all means book your flight for that time. If you might need a stroller, if you might need assistance from the air hostesses, ask for it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Find out from other experienced parents how they were able to juggle some of their responsibilities. If your child does not like noise or is sensitive to noise, this might not be the time to go for that concert that you really, really want to go. There'll always be another one. Just little steps. Just find out what triggers your child. What are those triggers? If it's noise, if your child is sensitive to noise, then by all means try and avoid noisy places. If it's light, find out. It might even be, I've even heard about children who are affected by wool or by polyester. Find out if it means buying non-bio detergents or non-perfumed products, then please by all means do so. If there are certain foods, especially sugary foods, that make your child hyper, then cut down on that. Water is always best, but try your best. I'm not here to legislate anything or to say this is the right thing, but I'm just saying be aware of who your child is, be aware of your child's needs, and see how best you can meet those needs. If it means establishing a routine and saying, okay, at 8 o'clock or at 9 o'clock, your child must go to bed, then try and stick to that. Sometimes it's not easy, I know. But try and establish a routine, even if it means going to bed at that time, reading a bedtime story. If you can, just do the best that you can. But try so that the child knows, okay, at this time we go to bed, at this time we eat, at this time. Even knowing that routine and anticipating the next thing that's coming will help calm that child. Some children don't respond to sudden change. No one likes change just like that. Sometimes we need preparation, and that also applies to your children. It might be just a little change or notice, okay, in 5 minutes we're going out, or in 10 minutes. Just try and find out what works for your child. If it's a sticker, by all means use a sticker or a reward chart. But if it's using praise, oh, well done, Michael, for doing this. Oh, well done, I'm so proud of you. Little things, little words. If that child knows, okay, if I do this, I'll get praised, then he might be encouraged to do better. But sometimes it's easy to look on the negative. I'm not here to say, oh, it's all bright and rosy. No, I'm being real. Sometimes you can get fed up and you don't want to give up or shout or, you know, but that's why I said it's important that your own mental state is right. Get support when you need. If you're tired, like we all do get tired, take time and rest. Don't let society judge you. Don't let anyone judge you. If you can't attend that church program, then please, and I know this is not politically correct, but if you can't afford to go for that program or you can't attend it, then just sit down and spend time with your child or rest. We work so hard sometimes and it's not easy to juggle all of these things together. You might need to cancel some appointments, not medical appointments, but if it's social interaction, if it's not really, really urgent or really, really important, then take a break. The other things you can do is to mirror your child. If your child says a word, copy. If your child, does a movement, copy. If your child babbles in a certain way, go ahead and copy, but also make sure you maintain eye contact and do it consistently at a certain time. You know what time is best for you. Do it at that time and see if it works. These are just practical steps. If, for instance, you want to encourage parent-child interaction, a good song is Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Sit on the floor with your child if your child is young. Hold hands, face each other, and sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat gently down the stream. And that song actually also helps that child to anticipate where if you see a crocodile, don't forget to scream. The child screams. So as already he's anticipating that there's a time he's going to scream or roar or shake. There are different things. Make it fun and exciting and interesting. No one likes boring songs. But music actually is a good way to interact with your child and it's a good learning tool to use with children. Find out what nursery rhymes that they like. Some nursery rhymes actually teach mathematical sequences or how to listen to instructions. Where it's time to stop, everyone stops. Or if you're counting 1, 2, 3, that 1, 2, 3 might actually come in handy if maybe you're crossing the road and we know it's green, red, amber, green. So the child is already anticipating, okay, there's order, there's a time to stop, we're stopping now, we're getting ready to stop, and now we've stopped. So that's a way of teaching your child sequencing. So the child knows, okay, it's 1 and then 2 and 3. And of course, they're learning how to count at the same time. So there are little things we can do, little changes that we can make in our lives. When we come back, I'll share more strategies on how you can support your child's development. You're welcome back. We're sharing strategies on how to support your child's development, especially speech and language development. There are little steps, little strategies you can use to support your child's development. Sometimes it seems as if your child has selective hearing or is not even listening to you. But little things you can do, like saying the name of your child first in that conversation, might get that child's attention. If you say, pass the ball, Rose, you've already given the instruction before saying the child's name. There could be 5 children there. Who knows who you're talking to? But if you say, Rose, pass the ball, please, then Rose knows, oh, okay, Mom is talking to me or Dad is talking to me. It's the same thing. It's the same way if you're in a crowd of people and someone calls your name. Nathan, then you know they're talking to you. That grabs your attention. Always say the child's name first if you want to get their attention. Don't forget, your name is the most precious name to you and it makes you unique. It might sound very simple, but it works. Another complaint I've heard from parents is, oh, my child doesn't like to share. We all have to share sometimes in the world. We have to share the same plane, the same bus, the same supermarket. So there are little ways you can encourage your child to share. Maybe praising, oh, well done for sharing your toy, Jacob. No, that's not the right way. It's Jacob, well done for sharing your toy. Or little things like taking turns. You roll the ball to me and I'll roll the ball back to you. You roll to me and I'll roll to you. So we know that, okay, we're taking turns. I roll to you and you roll to me. That way we're learning to share. We learn to share resources. And don't forget to always praise your child. If your child, shares with someone else. Always encourage your child. Praise your child. Look for the positive things your child does and praise your child for that. Let's not always focus on the negative. Little steps mean a lot. It might be one word, it might be an extra word. If your child says bag today, comment on that. Oh, Charlie, you said ball. Well done. Encourage your child. Make your child feel excited. Oh, I've said a word. Mom acknowledged that. Mom recognized that. And then comment as your child plays. Oh, you're passing the ball. You're drinking water. Comment all the time. Comment on your child's play, whatever you're doing. If you're taking a walk in the park, if you're walking on the road, comment on what your child is doing or what you're doing. We're going to see the dogs. We're going to feed the ducks. It's a lovely day. The sky is blue. The trees are green. The leaves are green. It's autumn. It's winter. It's sunny. Just comment. You never can tell what word your child will pick. But make sure you're not talking above your child's level. Make sure your child understands. So like I said again, come down to your child's level. Then also, we need to listen to our children. Let's not be in a hurry. You ask a question, and because you don't get an answer immediately, you start talking. That's a missed opportunity. Let's listen to our children. What are they saying? What are they trying to communicate? It's difficult to listen sometimes. We all think that we listen, or it's not just hearing. Listening is different from hearing. If we're actively listening, then we can follow the train of thought of that child. I'm not saying you should always anticipate your child's need, but listen. What are they trying to say? Find out little things. If it's a word, don't be in a hurry to ask questions. What is this? Is this the ball? Is it the lion? But listen, comment and say, oh, this is a lion. So in other words, you're giving your child the words so he understands. Sometimes we want to show off and say, oh, my child knows the different animals in the world. And the moment you call that child and say, okay, what animal is this? You'll be shocked that he or she won't want to say anything. It happens. Doesn't mean the child doesn't know it. Sometimes we really don't feel like talking, or we really don't feel like it. But don't put pressure on the child and say, oh, you must say it. You know this. Grandpa has come all the way and we want to show off, or grandma or your mother-in-law. And because you want to impress your mother-in-law, you're putting pressure on that child to speak. What you can do is just acknowledge that your child is unique and special and allow that child to blossom. We all need encouragement. Nobody likes pressure. Yeah, sometimes pressure is good, but when it comes to your children, especially if you want to support their language development, then allow them, give them the words. Be their source of encouragement. You're really the only one who understands your child. You've been with that child even from before birth. So you're the one who will be the first advocate and the best advocate for your child. Sing songs. Sing nursery rhymes. Play instruments. Don't even be afraid or ashamed to get involved in messy play. Messy play actually supports speech and language development, because if a child is willing to touch different textures, if it's baked beans, if it's spaghetti, if it's even mixing pasta with water, from when pasta is hard to when it's soft, those are different textures. Encourage your child. You might be in a controlled environment, but encourage your child to even explore different textures. And those textures would actually encourage the child, who, if the child is a fussy eater, to be willing to try and eat different textures. And those textures are also linked to sound production. So, hard sounds to pronounce like K or V. So just allow your child to get involved in messy play. A lot of parents say, oh no, I don't want my house to get dirty. But you can put a plastic foil on the floor, a plastic cloth, or go to a children's center where they can play, get a change of clothes, and just allow the children to be children. And you also get on the floor and have fun. Sometimes we're too busy, or we're too, uptight being adults, but we can also be children for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Get all the information. If you need to access benefits, get all the information you can get. And don't forget to have one-to-ones with your children. Just find time. Prioritize. It's not easy, I know. The world is busy. Everything is going at a fast pace. And sometimes we can't keep up with all the responsibilities. But you can take out 5 minutes, find it somehow. Find that time, please, for yourself and for your child. Also consider dietary intervention if necessary. Some children have allergies. Some people go on the gluten-free diet. Some people go on lactose-free. But always seek medical advice. And make sure you're doing the right thing. Don't starve your child, please. But consider if your child is getting the right sort of nutrition, food, fruits, and vegetables from a young age. Some children are fussy eaters, but like I said, messy play can help. And sometimes you'll be surprised that social eating might help your child. If they see another child who's eating, maybe their cousin or their friend is eating, they might be willing to try it. So, don't give up. Don't give up. There's no excuse for giving up. Just keep trying. Keep doing your best. You've come this far. This is not the time to give up. You could also ask yourself, is your child still using a dummy at a certain age? That can affect their speech and language development. Research has shown that, yes, dummies affect children's speech development. So don't keep that dummy on for too long. Not when they're 2 or 3 or 4 and they're still using dummies. You'll be surprised, actually. And this is not to put down anyone who still uses a dummy, but even, using a dummy or feeding bottle at certain ages would definitely affect your children's development. So begin to consider what time, what age should I start weaning off my child these dummies or bottle feeding. Encourage them to use a cup to drink after a certain age. The most important thing we should know is that every child is special, and life presents challenges sometimes. This is not the time for you to run away or to be afraid. Yes, there are things that would scare you. Wonder, what does the future hold for my child? But there is hope. As long as there's life, there's hope. Don't give up. Don't even let out your anger or your disappointment or your aggression on children or even other professionals. If there's a difference of opinion, there are ways you can present it in a very professional and polite manner. Don't be seen to be aggressive, or don't even stop engaging. It's even worse if you don't engage. That can be classed as child neglect. But look for ways of supporting your child. There's help and support available out there. It might be from the government, it might be from your local community, it might be from your church, it might be from your family. But like I said earlier, don't die in isolation. It's important to seek and keep abreast of government legislation about disabilities, children with special needs. What are the what's the latest research, what's government policy, what's the news saying, what is going on in your local community, what support is available. Keep abreast of this. Have a note, write down things. If you need to make video recordings, write it down. If you need to ask questions, if you have doctor's appointments, always know that it's important that you have all of this ready, all information, what medication is your child on, or what are the side effects of a medication, how can you manage the pain, how can you manage the situation, what triggers your child's temper tantrums. Don't surround yourself with negative people who will tell you it's probably because you did this or that, you didn't eat properly when you were pregnant. Don't doubt yourself and don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. That's another thing. Parents tend to blame themselves. Maybe I did this wrong. Maybe I'm not a good parent. I'm not a good mom. Really, really, let's look at it. Think about it. Who is a good mom? Who decides? Who determines? We all can't win Mom of the Year award. But everyone, is faced with this challenge of parenting. It's a blessing. It's interesting. Your journey might be different from my journey, but no baby comes with a manual. So each day, give it your best shot. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. I'm not saying I'm perfect. It's not easy. So don't let anyone judge you or make you think that you're not doing the right thing. As long as you're doing what's best for your child, keep going, keep going, keep going. If you have any questions, you can write me or call me or get reputable sources of information from your library, from your council, from charities or other organizations in your local area or in the internet, but make sure it's reputable. Don't listen to a quack doctor who says he can wave his hand or give you a magic pill. Don't fall for that. Seek good advice. Surround yourself with like-minded people who understand what you're going through or who are on the same path or who have experienced the same thing. Just keep going and keep your head up. Thank you.